All tyrants wear masks. Yours is a smile. They call you Sheev Palpatine, a name so ordinary it almost disappears in a crowd. And yet, when you step into the marble halls of Theed, every eye turns to you. The polished floors reflect the shine of your shoes. The towering columns make you appear small, humble even, but you know better. These walls of Naboo's royal palace are not just architecture. They are symbols of power. And power, you have learned, is the only truth in this galaxy. You smile. You always smile. It is not warmth, but weapon. The senators see a young man of refinement. The queen sees a loyal subject, and the people see a boy from a noble family who has returned to serve them. They cannot see the furnace burning beneath your skin. They cannot see how each word you speak is carefully chosen, calculated, placed like stones in a foundation no one else can glimpse. But you know, because behind your eyes, something stirs, a hunger that is not entirely your own. The air of Naboo is serene, perfumed by lakes and meadows. Children laugh on the streets of Theed, merchants haggle in open markets, and the great waterfall sings its eternal hymn. To anyone else, this world is paradise. To you, it is a gilded cage. You walk the streets with the practiced calm of nobility, acknowledging bowing heads, offering that perfect Naboo smile. But inside, you count the weaknesses of every man and woman you pass. The magistrate who drinks too much, the merchant who cheats on his taxes, the guard whose loyalty bends with coin, pieces on a board, pawns waiting to be moved. Even as a boy, you knew you were different. Your father's discipline, your mother's expectations, your tutor's endless lessons, all of them meant nothing. You played their game, excelled at it even, but you always sensed something more, a deeper current flowing beneath reality. That current found you. He came to you at night, the man who would strip away your innocence. A whisper in the shadows, a presence that felt both suffocating and intoxicating. His name was Darth Plagueis. But to you, he was simply the answer to a question you had been asking all your life. Why am I different? You are not different, he told you once, his voice like oil on water. You are chosen. And in those words, you saw destiny. The first lesson was not the Force itself, but the art of masks. You learned that people are not controlled with lightning or blades. They are controlled with perception. Hide your intent. Let them think you are harmless. Cloak yourself in charm, in intellect, in diplomacy. Become the man they want you to be, while your true self grows in the dark. And so you did. The Senate chamber on Coruscant became your theater. You played the role of idealist, the senator who sought fairness, compromise, peace. Your words dripped with sincerity, and your colleagues drank deeply. They applauded you, admired you, even pitied you. Pity, after all, is another form of control. Such a kind young man, they whispered. Naboo is lucky to have him. But you were already planning beyond Naboo, beyond the Republic itself. Every alliance, every favor owed, every rival's flaw tucked away for later. You built an invisible web. And at the center of that web, you waited, patient as the spider. The mask grows heavy sometimes. Nights in your private quarters, you let it slip. You stand before the mirror and stare at your reflection. The smooth, unlined face of Sheev Palpatine stares back, but you know it is a lie. The true face is the one you wear when Plagueis teaches you in shadows. The true face is the one you will one day show the galaxy when it kneels in chains before you. All tyrants wear masks. Yours is a smile. They call you Sheev Palpatine, a name so ordinary it almost disappears in a crowd. And yet, when you step into the marble halls of Theed, every eye turns to you. The polished floors reflect the shine of your shoes. The towering columns make you appear small, humble even, but you know better. These walls of Naboo's royal palace are not just architecture. They are symbols of power. And power, you have learned, is the only truth in this galaxy. You smile. You always smile. It is not warmth, but weapon. The senators see a young man of refinement. The queen sees a loyal subject, and the people see a boy from a noble family who has returned to serve them. They cannot see the furnace burning beneath your skin. They cannot see how each word you speak is carefully chosen, calculated, placed like stones in a foundation no one else can glimpse. But you know, because behind your eyes, something stirs, a hunger that is not entirely your own. The air of Naboo is serene, perfumed by lakes and meadows. Children laugh on the streets of Theed, merchants haggle in open markets, and the great waterfall sings its eternal hymn. To anyone else, this world is paradise. To you, it is a gilded cage. You walk the streets with the practiced calm of nobility, acknowledging bowing heads, offering that perfect Naboo smile. But inside, you count the weaknesses of every man and woman you pass. The magistrate who drinks too much, the merchant who cheats on his taxes, the guard whose loyalty bends with coin, pieces on a board, pawns waiting to be moved. Even as a boy, you knew you were different. Your father's discipline, your mother's expectations, your tutor's endless lessons, all of them meant nothing. You played their game, excelled at it even, but you always sensed something more, a deeper current flowing beneath reality. That current found you. He came to you at night, the man who would strip away your innocence. A whisper in the shadows, a presence that felt both suffocating and intoxicating. His name was Darth Plagueis. But to you, he was simply the answer to a question you had been asking all your life. Why am I different? You are not different, he told you once, his voice like oil on water. You are chosen. And in those words, you saw destiny. The first lesson was not the Force itself, but the art of masks. You learned that people are not controlled with lightning or blades. They are controlled with perception. Hide your intent. Let them think you are harmless. Cloak yourself in charm, in intellect, in diplomacy. Become the man they want you to be, while your true self grows in the dark. And so you did. The Senate chamber on Coruscant became your theater. You played the role of idealist, the senator who sought fairness, compromise, peace. Your words dripped with sincerity, and your colleagues drank deeply. They applauded you, admired you, even pitied you. Pity, after all, is another form of control. Such a kind young man, they whispered. Naboo is lucky to have him. But you were already planning beyond Naboo, beyond the Republic itself. Every alliance, every favor owed, every rival's flaw tucked away for later. You built an invisible web. And at the center of that web, you waited, patient as the spider. The mask grows heavy sometimes. Nights in your private quarters, you let it slip. You stand before the mirror and stare at your reflection. The smooth, unlined face of Sheev Palpatine stares back, but you know it is a lie. The true face is the one you wear when Plagueis teaches you in shadows. The true face is the one you will one day show the galaxy when it kneels in chains before you. Naboo sings to everyone else. To you, it hums. Theed's river splits into mirrored bands of silver, palaces glow with lamplight, and swan boats drift like quiet thoughts. But beneath the melody you feel a pulse, and a rhythmic throb running through stone and water and flesh. You don't yet have a name for it. You only know that when you breathe slow enough, the world leans closer, as if it were an animal, and you the only hand bold enough to stroke its spine. You test this everywhere. At a market stall where a baker argues with a tax official, you watch the man's jaw, how it tightens, how his eyes flick to the ledger when he lies. You think a single word, delay, and the official stutters, loses his place. Later, by the colonnade, a noblewoman assures you she will support your father's petition. You tilt your head a fraction and let the silence lengthen until she rushes to fill it with an extra promise she didn't intend to offer. It is not a parlor trick. It is not luck. It is the current and your willingness to wade deeper than anyone else. He finds you there, between pillars, beneath frescoes telling heroic lies, because men like him always find the ones who will not look away. He does not introduce himself at first. Tall, grave, a face like a coin worn thin at the edges. His eyes measure you, not with affection, not even with curiosity, but with the clinical interest of a craftsman appraising raw stone. Words, he murmurs, as if to the air, are the most underestimated instruments. You answer without turning. Only by those who don't know what they can cut. A pause. The river keeps moving. The city keeps breathing. When he speaks again, it slides into your bones. You feel it then. You do not ask what. He would not respect a boy who asks. You let the question hang, and you let the answer arrive. Good, he says at last. It feels you too. Later, you will know his name. It's the corporate alias that buys influence by the square mile, the true name that old bankers whisper with fear, the title only two beings are meant to share at a time. For now, he is a teacher who does not waste time on flattery. Power is permission, he says during the second meeting. You stand in a museum hall before a Naboo vase, 1,000 years old, hairline cracks spidering beneath the glaze. Most people spend their lives begging for it, and those who don't, you ask. They learn to stop asking. He tells you to trace the fracture with your sight, not your finger. He tells you to feel the moment it will fail. You do. You feel it not as doom, but as choice. The vase breaks on the 5th day, not because of age, but because you asked it to. Gently, like a lover asking a secret to be told. The docents never discover the cause. Your teacher does not smile. He only nods. The first lesson is not how to move a thing. It is how to move a will. He teaches you the physics of silence, how a held gaze creates gravity, how the slightest concession early becomes leverage late, how gratitude, properly harvested, compounds like interest. He gives you phrases to test. It would mean a lot. You're right. I'm sorry. He shows you that these words, applied with precision, are shims inserted under the pillars of a person's certainty. With enough of them, the structure can be made to shift, even collapse. He teaches you the scripture of patience. A seed, he says, does not need the sun to stare at it. It needs the certainty that the sun will rise. You water your first garden of influence and name each sprout. The magistrate who drinks too much. The clerk who envies his superior. The handmaiden who wants to be noticed. You give them small mercies and smaller indulgences. You keep records, not on paper, but in the archive behind your eyes. You never use more force than required. You never push when an outstretched hand will do. Sometimes he speaks of the force itself. Then the room chills, as if a cloud passed across two suns. He does not call it by the names the Jedi use. He calls it a field of profit and loss, a ledger of life written in currents and heat and hunger. Conduct it, he says. Don't worship it. Bend its eddies. Tax its tide. One night he brings you beneath Theed, down into service tunnels smelling of damp stone and river breath, until the city's music fades into a wet hush. He lights nothing. The dark is complete. Close your eyes, he says. They are. Good. Now find me. You breathe. The blackness presses until it is almost pain. The first thing you sense is your own heart. The second is the drip of condensation. The third is something like a thread drawn through the hollow of your chest toward another hollow far away. You reach along it and brush something cold, ancient, patient. A hand closes around your wrist. Not with fear, he warns. With certainty. You breathe again. You reach again. This time you find him as easily as a coin finds the bottom of a well. You find yourself, too, on the way down. You are not talented, he says in that darkness, and the words would bruise anyone else. You are inevitable. He does not praise you. Praise would be a leash. He only gives you more tasks. Slowly, the tide that tugs at your guts names itself. You do not say it aloud. You are superstitious enough to know names matter, and the thing you will someday become deserves to hear its name from your own me. Youth first. Above ground, in the glare of chandeliers, you hone the other blade. Politics is not a field you enter. It is a theater you write. You start small. A committee on trade routes, a meeting about flood control, a debate over artisan subsidies. You speak less than the others, but when you do, the room tilts toward you. That seems reasonable, you say, and men who came to shout find themselves nodding. You broker compromises that please no one and bind everyone. You leave with 3 favors you will call in a decade from now. At home, your father calls you principled. Your mother calls you promising. Their pride is a perfume the house wears each evening. You do not resent it. You are not made of resentment. You are made of appetite. Their love, placed upon you like a mantle, is warm. You weigh it in your hands as you might weigh a gift of fine stone, grateful for the solidity, aware of its eventual use. The first time your teacher asks for proof, he does not do it with ceremony. Weakness, he says, is a debt that begs to be collected. He slides a name across the table in the private room where you meet. A junior records officer. A man who has been selling minor permits to friends, who will soon be caught, who, if panicked, will talk himself into implicating children of better families. The officer has a newborn son, a wife who writes him long letters with small jokes in the margins. Why him, you ask, and it is not mercy, it is logistics. Because if he is not stopped, he complicates a dozen streams we are routing, your teacher replies. Because he is not necessary, because you must see what it feels like to choose. You do not argue. You watch the officer for 3 days. You learn his route to work. You learn the brand of tea he buys. You learn that he always lingers a moment longer than he needs to in front of a portrait of the Queen at the government hall, perhaps in admiration, perhaps in hunger for something finer than what he has. On the 5th day, he accepts an invitation sent from a friend he thinks he made on his own. On the 7th, he drinks wine he did not think to question. On the 9th, he sleeps and does not wake. You do not touch the poison. You do not sign the invitation. You do not deliver the glass. You only decide. When the death notice goes out, Theed lowers its voice for an afternoon. The officer's wife crumples in a doorway, and the baby cries because babies cry, world without end. You walk past the hall where the portrait hangs. A new records officer is appointed, one who owes you a favor he does not even realize he owes. You do not feel guilt. You do not feel joy. You feel a calibration, like the click a lock makes when it learns the correct key. The current is warmer when it flows in the direction you have chosen. Your teacher watches you. He does not ask how you arranged it. He does not care. Understand this, he says. Compassion is a leash. You will learn when to wrap it around a throat and when to cut it clean. Another test follows. Another. Each demands less hesitation than the last. You find you are efficient. You find the nights are quieter when you act. The mask you wear during the day, the smile, the courtesy, fits better now that you know the face beneath it is real. There are other lessons, too, that politics alone cannot teach. On a rain-bright night, you stand on a balcony with him, while traffic lanes braid themselves into light. He speaks of empires as engines, of fear as fuel that burns hotter than hope, of institutions as scaffolds to be climbed and then kicked away. Immortality, he says, and the word does not belong in any civilized mouth. The Force can be made to surrender it. Life and death are currencies. We will learn to spend them. We, you echo, testing the weight of partnership. For now, he allows. You attend more committees. You give away more credit than you take. People love you with the special, helpless love reserved for those who do not seem to need it. A queen takes careful note. A coalition chair invites you to quiet dinners. The press asks for your opinions on matters too small for your ambitions, and you give them anyway. For practice in building a world where every sentence you speak nudges the galaxy toward an angle only you can see. In private, you study histories redacted by the moralists who wrote them. You learn of sects that rose and fell because they mistook patience for surrender. You learn of orders who taught renunciation to children, and then wondered why the children renounced joy first and justice after. You learn the names of planets where fear shaped law more cleanly than any philosopher could. You learn a second truth that belongs only to those willing to hold it until it burns. The galaxy does not want to be good, it wants to be made simple. You will give it simplicity. You will make its choices smaller until they feel like peace. The night the title is offered, the room is empty of everything but your breathing and a shape in the dark. There is no ceremony, no music, no vow sung to make it seem holy. Kneel, your teacher says. The word arrives like a stone dropped into the current. Ripples go out. They touch the boy you were and the man you will be. You kneel not to worship, but to acknowledge the geometry of power, knees bent until the day others will bend in your shadow. His hand hovers above your head, not quite touching. For an instant, the space between you is a living thing, alive with the hum you have heard in rivers and halls and blood. Your eyes flicker, and for a heartbeat you see the city as a web of threads, every life a line, every line converging toward a point that could be your fist. Rise, he says softly, almost with pride, almost. You stand, and you understand that now the instruction will become honest. Now the masks will multiply. Now the price of patience will be paid back with interest. You will learn to move unseen, he tells you. You will learn to break a world with a nudge. You will learn to make kings ask your permission to sleep. And when I have learned, you ask. Then, he says, and for the first time he smiles, a thin, carnivorous thing, we will decide what the galaxy is for. You return to Theed before dawn. The waterfalls are silver ribbons in the half-light. The city yawns, unaware of new math written beneath its streets. In your rooms, you remove your cloak. You wash your hands, you smooth your hair. You practice the face the world adores. It fits you as it always has, but now it answers to you. Somewhere in the palace, a bell rings for morning prayers. Somewhere in the tunnels, a drop of water falls. Somewhere above the clouds, lanes of light knot themselves into a noose you will one day pull tight. You look out over Naboo and feel the current not as invitation, but as instrument. It hums at your touch. It waits for instructions. You have them. The smile they see is still the same. The polished, courteous young senator of Naboo, with words dipped in honey and eyes full of sincerity. But behind that smile, a new self has begun to sharpen, forged in secrecy, tempered in lessons no one alive would dare whisper aloud. You are no longer a boy fumbling with strange sensations. You are no longer the noble's son trying to balance family pride with ambition. You are an apprentice now, though not the kind who bows in public halls. Your master is not a scholar of politics or a general of war. He is a shadow that walks beside you, a shadow whose name you never speak when the sun is up. Darth Plagueis. The training does not begin with lightning. It does not begin with blades. It begins with patience. Strike too soon, he says, and you reveal yourself. Patience is the art of letting your prey walk into its own cage. He takes you to worlds few in the Republic even know exist. On Abora, a moon drowning in endless storms, he has you stand barefoot on a cliff until the lightning strikes the rocks around you. He tells you not to flinch. You hold your ground, the wind tearing at your clothes, the storm shrieking like a beast. You do not move, you do not kneel, and in that moment, you feel the storm lean closer, as if it knows you are its kin. You are not resisting it, Plagueis observes. You are listening. Good. On Sereno, he brings you to the libraries of lost lords. Shelves heavy with tomes the Jedi would burn if they could. There, you read of powers beyond sabers and soldiers, powers to shape life, cheat death, twist destiny itself. The words do not frighten you. They awaken you. They tell you what you already suspected. The galaxy is clay, waiting for the right hands to mold it, and always, the mask. By day, you return to your seat in the Senate. You argue about tariffs and treaties with a face as mild as spring rain. You shake hands, promise reforms, laugh at jokes. They call you humble. They call you promising. They call you safe. But when night falls, you return to your master. The mask slips, and the galaxy trembles just a little, though it does not yet know why. Do you see? Plagueis asks one evening as you stand with him on the balcony of a tower above Coruscant. The city below is a sea of light. Endless towers clawing at the sky. Billions below us. All of them scurrying. All of them begging for meaning. They think they are free, but they are not. They are desperate for someone to tell them what to do. They are desperate for me, you say. He studies you in silence, his face pale in the neon glow. Then he nods once. The lessons grow darker. He teaches you how to slip inside another's mind, not with brute force but with the gentlest suggestion, a whisper that sounds like their own thought. You test it on minor officials, watching as their decisions change without realizing why. A pause in conversation, a suggestion delivered with just the right inflection, and suddenly, a vote is cast differently, a document altered, a life redirected. You must never overplay it, Plagueis warns. A whisper is more dangerous than a shout. The Jedi shout, we whisper, but you do not stop there. You push, you lean harder, longer, and though you mask your eagerness with humility, your master sees it. Then come the rituals, not chants, not prayers. The Sith do not beg, but acts, acts that scar you, acts that mark you, acts that make you understand that life itself is malleable. On one forgotten world, in the ruins of a temple drowned in sand, he shows you how to drain the life from a creature, a rodent first, trembling in your hands. You feel its pulse, fragile, frantic. Then you draw. Its eyes glaze, its body stiffens, its essence folds into yours. The shock of it nearly doubles you over, not because of guilt. Guilt is a chain, but because of the ecstasy. It is intoxicating, the realization that existence itself can be stolen, consumed, owned. You look up, your breath ragged, your hands trembling with stolen power. This, Plagueis says quietly, is the truth the Jedi fear. This is the truth they would deny the galaxy. Power not to serve, not to balance, not to preserve. Power to decide. And you decide, in that moment, that you will never again be powerless. But even as he teaches, you begin to see what he cannot hide. Fear, not of you, not yet. Fear of loss. Fear of the Jedi, of discovery, of failure. He speaks often of immortality, of unlocking the secret that would keep death at bay forever. His obsession is endless, consuming. He tells you that together you will conquer death itself. But you watch him closely. You see the cracks, the hesitation, the weakness that festers in him, hidden beneath all his strength. And you know deep inside that his weakness will one day be his end. Back on Naboo, the people cheer you as a rising star. Queens praise your counsel. Colleagues trust your wisdom. The press calls you the future of Naboo, and none of them know that the future you are building is drenched in shadows. At night, you stand in your chambers, staring at your reflection in the mirror. The smile is still there. The face is still smooth, noble, trustworthy. But the eyes, they are sharper now, colder, hungrier. You whisper to the reflection as you once did, but this time the words carry more weight. I am inevitable. And for the first time, you believe it. Yet destiny does not wait forever. The galaxy is vast, the Republic is fragile, and your master's shadow looms heavier with each passing year. His lessons shape you, but his presence constrains you. Every word, every glance, every command is a reminder. You are still the apprentice. But apprentices are not meant to stay apprentices forever. And somewhere, in the deepest corners of your heart, a thought grows like a thorn, sharper with every lesson. The galaxy does not belong to him. It belongs to you. There are only two, a master and an apprentice, but never equals. The words echo through your mind like scripture carved into stone. Darth Plagueis repeated them endlessly, a warning, a law, a chain. Yet even as he spoke them, you already knew what he refused to admit. Every law is made to be broken. Every chain is meant to snap, and every master is destined to fall. The galaxy continues to call you Sheev Palpatine, their loyal senator, their humble servant. They see the smile, the bow, the gracious words. They applaud you in the Senate. They invite you to banquets. They trust you with secrets they should never have whispered. But behind the mask, the apprentice waits. By night, you kneel at Plagueis' side. He speaks of immortality, of bending life itself into obedience. He teaches you the rituals, the sciences, the forbidden arts. He believes that together you will conquer death, but you see what he cannot. He has already been conquered, not by death, by fear, by obsession. Plagueis fears the Jedi. He fears their discovery, their armies, their interference. You do not fear them. You study them, mock them, plot their downfall. He fears betrayal. You do not fear betrayal. You plan it. The night arrives quietly, without omen, without storm. Coruscant hums outside the windows of a luxury apartment, the city's towers glowing like a million false stars. The air is warm, scented with wine and smoke. Plagueis is drunk, not on liquor, he rarely indulges, but on triumph. The Republic bends further into chaos. Your influence in the Senate grows, your web of strings tightens. He sees only victory. He does not see the shadow at his side sharpening into a blade. He speaks to you from his chair, his long face lit by pale light. His voice is thick, slurred with exhaustion and drink. We are close, my apprentice, so close. The Jedi do not see it. The Republic is blind. Soon, and they will all kneel. Together, we will never die. You nod, smiling, always smiling. You pour him another glass. Yes, master, you say softly. Together, you stand behind him as he drinks. You watch the rise and fall of his chest. You hear the hitch in his breath, the groan as fatigue weighs down his frame. His eyes close and his words trail into silence. And in that silence, you know. You could wait. You could let him live. Let him continue to teach, to guide, to build. But you do not need him anymore. You have learned his secrets, stolen his knowledge, devoured his wisdom, and you are stronger than he knows. Stronger than he ever was. For years you played the obedient student. For years you bowed, you knelt, you obeyed. Tonight, you rise. You place your hand upon his chest. The gesture could be mistaken for kindness, for loyalty, but your touch is cold. The force hums in your veins, coiled like a serpent waiting to strike. You do not speak. There are no words worth giving him. You draw. Plagueis gasps, eyes snapping open. The current of life surges within him, and you rip it free. His body convulses, his hands clawing at the chair, at the air, at you. His mouth forms your name, but no sound emerges, only a broken rasp. His power, his essence floods into you. Not just strength, not just knowledge, the sheer certainty of survival, of dominance, of inevitability. His fear becomes your fuel. His life becomes your feast. You lean close, your face inches from his, your voice a whisper colder than any blade. There can be only one. It does not take long. His body crumples, drained, the mighty Darth Plagueis reduced to a husk, the master of life and death, slain not in battle, but in his sleep, betrayed by the very rule he once cherished. The rule of two is fulfilled, and you are alone. You stand over the corpse, breathing deeply, your veins alight with stolen power. You do not weep, you do not hesitate, you feel only clarity. The galaxy was never meant for him, it was meant for you. The apprentice is no more. You are Darth Sidious. But as the city hums beyond the glass, as lights streak across the night sky, you feel something else stir in the Force. A whisper, faint but undeniable. The Jedi. They do not yet see you, but the current shifts around you, tugging at destiny. Somewhere the Force itself recoils, warning of the storm you have just unleashed. You smile into the dark. Let them fear. Let them fight. For the first time, you are not the apprentice. You are the master, and your reign has only just begun. The greatest deception is not the lie you tell. It is the truth you allow them to believe. The Senate chamber is a theater of masks, and no mask is worn as perfectly as yours. You walk its marble corridors with the gait of a man who belongs, a man who seeks nothing more than the prosperity of Naboo and the unity of the Republic. Every bow you offer, every polite smile, every deferential nod conceals the truth that these halls are not temples of democracy, but a banquet, and you have come to feed. No one notices the shadow behind your eyes. They see only Sheev Palpatine, young, eloquent, eager to serve. They do not see Darth Sidious, the storm that has already claimed its first life. The chamber itself is a monument to chaos. Pod after pod circles the vast dome, filled with chattering voices of 1,000 worlds. Arguments erupt, drowned by applause, swallowed by procedure. They believe in law, in order, in collective decision. But you see the truth. They believe in nothing. They argue for influence, they posture for pride, they bargain for scraps. It is not the Senate that rules the Republic. It is weakness, and weakness is always waiting for a master. You smile as you rise to speak. Honorable colleagues, you begin, your voice smooth, patient, tinged with humility. Naboo may be a small world, but it is no less dedicated to the principles of unity and justice. They lean forward, they listen, because while others rant, you understand rhythm. You weave your words like music, soft where others shout, firm where others falter. You do not seek victory today. You plant seeds, seeds of trust, seeds of credibility, seeds that will bloom into power when the time is right. By night, you cast the mask aside. In chambers lit only by the crimson glow of Coruscant's lower levels, you contact allies who do not exist on any official registry. Bankers who fund wars they claim to bore. Crime lords who purchase senators as easily as spice. Traitors who bend laws until they snap. All threads in your growing web. Patience, you tell them. The same word Plagueis once told you. Our time will come, but unlike your master, you know patience is not waiting. It is building. Naboo strengthens your mask. Your queen, young and idealistic, looks upon you with trust. She believes you a servant of her people, a loyal son of Naboo who would give anything for his homeworld. And in a sense, she is correct. You will give everything, but not for Naboo, for yourself. You study her carefully, her words, her advisors, her fears. You learn when to reassure, when to warn, when to push. To her, you are indispensable. To you, she is leverage. One evening, she thanks you for your counsel. Without your wisdom, Senator, I fear Naboo would be lost in the noise of Coruscant. You bow, the perfect portrait of humility. I serve only the will of my people, my queen. But in your mind, the thought coils. You serve my will. You just do not know it yet. The Jedi walk these same halls, guardians draped in robes, lightsabers at their belts. They pass you often, some nodding politely, some ignoring you entirely. None of them see the truth. None of them sense the darkness standing in plain sight. And why would they? You have mastered the mask. You have learned to cloak your presence, to let your ambition bleed into the shadows where their vaunted wisdom cannot reach. To them, you are a politician, harmless, forgettable. You almost laugh when you think of it. The galaxy's greatest warriors, blind to the threat that shakes their hands in friendship. Your power grows not with sabers, but with words. A whisper here, a suggestion there. You propose committees, you redirect funds, you nudge the Republic into fractures it cannot repair. You do not topple governments, you let them topple themselves. When a senator from Malastare thanks you for supporting his trade motion, he believes you did so out of fairness. When the chair of the Finance Committee approves a small appropriation you suggested, he thinks it his idea. And when rivals attempt to smear your name, they find allies quietly closing doors in their faces, allies who never realize you were the one who opened those doors in the first place. It is a dance, and you always lead. Still, Shadows are not nourished by politics alone. You slip into robes of black when the Senate sleeps. You reach into the currents of the Force, drawing strength from fear, from greed, from the endless hunger of Coruscant itself. Billions cry out in need, in despair, in longing, and every cry is fuel. The Jedi ignore the suffering. You do not. You harvest it. You make it yours. And as you stand on your balcony, the city spread beneath you like prey. You whisper to the night, "They are mine already. They just don't know it." But destiny does not wait forever. Whispers of unrest echo across the galaxy. Trade disputes, planetary blockades, systems threatening secession. The Republic is cracking, and you are there with gentle hands, pretending to heal while widening the wounds. You hear the name of a warrior spoken in hushed tones. Darth Maul, your creation, your weapon. The galaxy will not see him until you decide. For now, he is the blade hidden beneath the cloak. And the cloak itself? That is you. Sheev Palpatine, humble senator, the perfect disguise. The Senate applauds you one evening, your speech stirring hope in weary hearts. You bow graciously, your hands folded, your eyes lowered. But inside, you are laughing, not at them, but at the sheer simplicity of it. They hand you power every day, wrapped in ribbons of trust and praise. They beg you to rule them, and you will. You already do. But as the chamber empties and you walk alone through the echoing halls, you feel it again. The current of the Force, pulling, warning, beckoning. A storm is coming, larger than Naboo, larger than the Republic. A storm that will sweep the Jedi from their thrones and leave only ash in its wake. You pull your cloak tighter, your smile fading into the grin of something far older, far darker. The galaxy sees a senator, but you know the truth. You are already an emperor in waiting. A shadow does not announce itself. It waits until the light is weakest, and then it devours. The Republic believes in peace. The Jedi preach balance. Naboo prays for harmony. All of them are wrong. Peace is an illusion. Balance is a lie. Harmony is the mask that weak men wear while stronger hands prepare to take everything. And your hands are ready. The crisis begins with whispers, trade disputes, tariffs, corruption gnawing at the Senate's edges. 1,000 systems cry out for order, and the Senate gives them only more words. To you, this chaos is not a danger. It is the opportunity you have been waiting for. The Trade Federation has grown fat on greed, smug in its fleets, arrogant in its influence. To the Senate, they are an annoyance. To you, they are the perfect blade. You whisper to them in secret meetings, not as Senator Palpatine, not with your smile, but as Sidious, cloaked, hooded, a phantom draped in shadow. They kneel before your hologram, trembling, for they feel what others cannot, the cold, unrelenting hunger that seeps through every word you speak. Blockade Naboo, you command. Choke its trade, starve its people, force its queen to bend. They hesitate, weaklings playing at power. So you remind them, the Jedi will not act. The Senate will drown in procedure. Do as I say, and you will have more than riches. You will have my protection. Protection? They hear it as promise. You know it for what it is, a chain. And so the fleets descend. Naboo's skies fill with metal. Its rivers grow silent. Its people starve beneath the blockade you designed. In the Senate you rise with perfect outrage. My queen suffers unjustly, you declare, your voice quivering with sincerity. My people are strangled by corporate greed. Surely the Republic cannot stand idle. They applaud. They mutter in sympathy. They pass motions, form committees, write reports, but they do know. Act, they cannot. You knew they would not. The Queen, young and radiant, looks to you with desperate eyes. You must help us, Senator. You must save Naboo. And you bow your head, humble, sorrowful. I will do everything I can, Your Highness. Everything, and more. But there is another piece on the board. Another mask you wear. Darth Maul, your apprentice, your blade, forged in rage, honed in hatred, a storm-given flesh. He says little, his silence louder than most men's screams. His body is a map of pain and devotion, crimson skin carved with black tattoos that speak of oaths older than Naboo's rivers. When you summon him, he kneels without hesitation. His yellow eyes burn with hunger, but his will is absolute. At last, you tell him, your voice deep with satisfaction, we reveal ourselves to the Jedi. It is not Maul's role to question. It is his role to strike, and strike he will. The game unfolds exactly as you planned. The Jedi arrive, 2 of them, a master and his apprentice. Their blades flash in Naboo's corridors, their presence disrupting the Trade Federation's courage. But you anticipated this. The Federation crumbles, the Queen flees, and still, you smile, because all of this is theater. The blockade, the invasion, the Jedi's arrival. It is a test, a stage upon which you measure your pawns and sharpen your blade. You watch Maul clash with the Jedi, Crimson's saber spitting fire against green and blue. His movements are flawless, his fury unmatched. For a moment you feel the thrill of it, the Sith revealed, the Jedi driven back. But fate is cruel even to masters of fate. On Naboo's plains, in the heart of the palace, Maul faces his duel of destiny. He kills the master, Qui-Gon Jinn, striking him down with a savage blow. But in his triumph, he falters. The apprentice, Obi-Wan Kenobi, fueled by grief, finds his opening, and in a single stroke, Maul falls. Bisect, broken, cast into the depths. Your blade is gone, or so the galaxy believes. Outwardly, you mourn. Such tragedy. You sigh in the Senate. Such sorrow for Naboo, such loss for the Republic. But inside, your fury is ice, not fire. The Jedi think they have won a victory. They are fools. They have only proven what you already knew. They can bleed. Maul's fall is not the end. He is but one blade. You are the hand that wields them, and hands do not break. The crisis resolves, as all crises do, not with justice, but with power. The Queen stands before the Senate, pleading for help. The Chancellor hesitates, dithers, weak as ever. And then, with the gentlest of pushes, you make your move. I propose a vote of no confidence, you whisper. The words are soft, almost innocent, but they are thunder in the chamber. Gasps, shouts, outrage, and then, momentum. One by one, pods shift, voices rise. The tide turns. The Chancellor is ousted, disgraced, cast down. And in his place, you. The applause shakes the chamber as your name is spoken. Sheev Palpatine, humble son of Naboo, chosen as Supreme Chancellor of the Republic. The senators cheer, the Queen smiles, the galaxy breathes in relief. They believe they have chosen you. They believe you are their savior. And you bow, smiling, hands folded in gratitude. But inside, you laugh, because you did not seize power. They gave it to you. And as you stand in the center of the Senate, cloaked in praise and trust, you feel the Force itself stir around you. Not in resistance, in recognition. The storm you have unleashed is only beginning. The Jedi do not know. The Senate does not know. The galaxy does not know. But you know. You are no longer the shadow behind the throne. You are the throne. Wars are not won on battlefields. They are won long before, in whispers and shadows. The galaxy celebrates. They cheer your election as Chancellor. They call you Savior of Naboo, Champion of Peace, the face of renewal in a Senate drowning in corruption. In their applause, they do not see the truth. The Republic is already yours. You wear its colors. You speak its words, but its soul belongs to you. And yet, power is never content. The Republic may kneel, but the galaxy is vast. Entire systems still dream of freedom. Entire armies still answer to men you do not control. For true mastery, you need more than titles. You need war. The seeds are already in place. Count Dooku, once a Jedi, now your apprentice. He carries himself as an idealist, a man disillusioned with the Republic, disgusted by its greed. To the galaxy, he is a rebel leader, the noble architect of secession. To you, he is nothing more than another blade. He builds your separatist movement, gathering systems under banners of independence. They think they are freeing themselves from corruption. In truth, they are walking willingly into your trap. Every fleet they raise, every droid army they construct, every senator they sway, each is a brick in the empire you are constructing. At the same time, you guide the Republic toward fear. Security, you tell them. We must protect our citizens. We must defend peace. And they listen. They always listen. Soon the Senate, in its panic, does what it once swore it never would. It votes to create a grand army of the Republic. An army not to protect peace, but to destroy it. Two armies, one Republic and one Separatist, born from the same hand. Your hand. You never lift a weapon. You never sit in a cockpit. But every battle fought, every ship destroyed, every clone and droid that falls, it is all your design. The Jedi, blind and foolish, rush to lead the clone legions. They become generals, warriors, commanders, and in doing so, they become what they swore never to be. Soldiers of war, agents of death. Each victory they win only tightens your grip. Each loss they suffer only deepens their desperation. Slowly, carefully, you make them the face of violence. And when the galaxy begins to question why peacekeepers have become executioners, the answer will be simple: because you led them there. But war is not just fought with armies, it is fought with politics. And politics is where you are invincible. You call for emergency powers, and the Senate gives them eagerly. Each new crisis justifies more authority. Each new attack convinces them that Palpatine must lead them without restraint. "We cannot tie the Chancellor's hands," one senator cries. "Not when the Separatists threaten us all." And so they untie your hands. They give you decree after decree, law after law, power upon power, and every gift is a chain wrapped tighter around their throats. Still, the mask must remain. You do not rule as Sidious, not yet. You are still Palpatine, the gentle voice, the humble servant, the man who insists he does not want this power, but must accept it for the good of the Republic. "You are too kind," you tell them when they heap praise upon you. "I serve only the will of the people," and they believe you. They believe every word. At night, when the Senate sleeps, you laugh. The war spreads like fire across the stars. Systems burn, fleets vanish, entire worlds are turned to rubble. But the greater the fire, the stronger you become, because you are the fire. Dooku does his part, sowing terror as leader of the Separatists. The Republic answers with fury. Both sides believe they are fighting for freedom. Both sides believe they are righteous. Both sides believe they will win, but there will be no victory for either, only for you. The Jedi begin to suspect. They whisper of a Dark Lord behind the war, a phantom manipulating both sides, but their vision is clouded. They do not see you. They cannot. You sit among them, cloaked in robes of the Republic, smiling, speaking of peace, praising their sacrifice. "How tragic," you say when 1,000 clones fall. "How brave our Jedi are to lead them." And all the while, you tighten the noose. On the outer rim, battles rage. On Coruscant, the Senate trembles. Everywhere, hope frays. And in that despair, you hear the galaxy's heartbeat. It is racing. It is panic. It is desperate for someone to end the war, no matter the cost. And you are ready to pay that cost, for them, with their freedom. You stand once more on your balcony, the night alive with traffic and lights. The war stretches across the stars. But here, in this moment, you see it all. Fleets clashing, armies marching, Jedi bleeding, all of it orchestrated, all of it inevitable. You whisper into the dark, into the currents of the Force that now sing to your command. "This is my war, my design, my victory." The shadows answer, not in words, but in silence. The silence of inevitability. The Jedi still cling to hope. They still believe they can stop you, though they do not even know who you are. But you know them. You know their flaws, their arrogance, their blindness, and soon you will break them. The war is theirs in name, but in truth it is yours. And when it ends, there will be no Republic, no Jedi, only you. Empires are not taken by force. They are handed over by the fearful, begging to be ruled. The Clone Wars rage for years, grinding the galaxy into dust. Fleets vanish into fire, entire planets scar under bombardment, and every drop of blood spilled is one more stone in the foundation you have been building. The Jedi bleed, the Republic bleeds, the Separatists bleed. Only you thrive. From the shadows, you conduct it all. You are the hand behind the Republic and the master of the Separatists. When Dooku raises fleets, he does it because you whispered. When the Senate votes emergency powers, it is because you smiled. Every victory, every defeat, every atrocity, your fingerprints are invisible, but everywhere. And now, the final act is at hand. It begins with fear. It always does. Rumors spread across Coruscant. The Separatists will strike at the capital. The war will never end. The Jedi cannot protect them. Senators whisper of treachery, of betrayal, of shadows too deep to pierce. Their fear is your blade, and you plunge it deep. Only unity can save us, you tell them. Only strength, only decisive leadership. They agree. They always do. Count Dooku dies as planned, slain by Anakin Skywalker, your chosen blade. You orchestrated it perfectly. Jedi against Sith, apprentice against apprentice. Dooku dies with shock in his eyes, realizing too late that his master was never meant to save him. He was meant to endure him, Now the Separatists are leaderless, the war falters, the galaxy tilts, waiting for a hand to steady it, your hand. But the Jedi grow restless. They sense something in the Force, some shadow they cannot name. They speak in whispers of corruption, of darkness rising within the very Senate itself. And so, they send Anakin to you. Their mistake. He arrives troubled, divided, desperate for guidance. He dreams of loss, of his beloved dying in childbirth, of a fate he cannot escape. You listen, your expression gentle, your voice soft. You seek power, you tell him. Power to save the one you love. His eyes widen. You lower your voice, weaving poison like silk. There are ways the Jedi will never teach you, but I can. The hook sinks deep. The confrontation is inevitable. Mace Windu arrives with his Jedi, blades drawn, fury sharp. They accuse you of treason, of manipulation, of being the Sith Lord they could never find. And for once, you drop the mask. Yes, you hiss, lightning sparking at your fingertips. I am the Senate. The battle is brutal, the air alive with the stench of ozone and the clash of blades. You twist the Force into storms of lightning, your face contorted, your body drenched in power. Windu holds his ground, but the boy, Skywalker, stands in the doorway, torn between duty and fear. You see his torment, you see his weakness, you see your victory. If you let him kill me, you gasp, voice cracked with desperation and venom. Your wife will die, only I can save her. And in that moment, the boy chooses. His blade severs Windu's hand. Your lightning finishes what his weakness began. The Jedi Master screams as he falls, cast into the void below. The Republic's last hope plummets into silence. You rise slowly, your body scarred by the battle, your face twisted by the power you unleashed. The Senate will see the disfigurement and call it sacrifice. You will call it revelation. Before you kneels Anakin Skywalker, trembling, broken, desperate. What have I done? He whispers. You place your hand on his shoulder, your voice now soft, fatherly. You have fulfilled your destiny. He looks up, tears in his eyes. You offer him a name, not as a gift, but as a chain. Rise, Lord Vader. The trap closes. You call the Senate into emergency session. You tell them the Jedi have betrayed the Republic, that they plotted to overthrow democracy, that only you survived their treachery. Gasps fill the chamber. Voices cry in disbelief. But fear wins. Fear always wins. You raise your arms, your voice thunder. In order to ensure the security and continuing stability of the Republic, the Jedi Order must be destroyed. The Republic will be reorganized into the First Galactic Empire, and the Senate erupts in applause. Applause. They cheer their own chains. They give away their freedom willingly, desperately, gratefully. This is how liberty dies, one senator whispers, with thunderous applause. You smile. The Jedi fall. Order 66. The words echo across the stars, and in an instant the Guardians of Peace are slaughtered by the soldiers they trusted. Clone troopers turn on their generals, and sabers that once gleamed with light are extinguished in blood. The temples burn. The children scream. The order is no more, and you stand triumphant, not hidden, not cloaked, but revealed. You are not Palpatine the Senator. You are not Palpatine the Chancellor. You are Sidious, Dark Lord of the Sith, and now Emperor of the Galaxy. From the balcony of the Senate, you look upon your empire, armies at your command, fleets in your grasp, a new apprentice at your side, clad in black, his breath already mechanical, his heart already yours. The galaxy kneels, the Sith rule, and for the first time in 1,000 years the shadows are no longer shadows. They are the throne. A blade is not born, it is forged, hammered in fire, quenched in suffering, sharpened in obedience. Anakin Skywalker kneels before you, trembling. His breath is ragged, his eyes wide, still wet with the shame of what he has done. He reeks of guilt, of fear, of desperation. But beneath it all, you sense what you have always hungered for, potential. You place your hand upon his shoulder, not as comfort, but as claim. You are no longer Anakin Skywalker, you whisper, your voice both venom and lullaby. That name belongs to the weak boy who served the Jedi. You are reborn. You are mine. He bows his head lower, shoulders shaking. When he looks up, the last light of the Jedi is gone, smothered under the weight of what he has chosen. Rise, Lord Vader. And he does. The transformation begins not with armor, but with blood. You send him to the Jedi Temple, the sacred heart of your enemies. The marble halls echo with the laughter of children, the quiet whispers of students who still believe their masters will save them. They look up as the doors open, expecting protection. Instead, they see him. The boy who was once Anakin Skywalker ignites his blade. Blue fire. For a moment, some of them smile. A Jedi come to save us. But then the blade cuts. Screams fill the temple. Innocent blood stains the floor, and hope dies forever. You feel every strike through the Force. You savor it. Each child cut down, each master slain, each book burned. It is not merely slaughter. It is baptism. He is washing away the remnants of his old life in rivers of fire and blood. When it is done, the temple lies in ruins. Statues crumble. Holocrons shatter. The order that stood for 1,000 years lies broken at the feet of your apprentice. And you smile. But death is not enough. Death is easy. To truly forge him, you must break him. You whisper of dreams, of visions. You remind him of his fear. Padme, Dathi Tue, a wife he hid, the secret he clung to, the love he swore to protect. He saw her die in his dreams, and you tell him only you can save her. Only through me, you promise, can you cheat death. And so he clings to you, like a drowning man clutching a stone. He follows you to Mustafar, where the separatist leaders hide. They plead for mercy when he enters. He gives them none. His saber flashes, and their corpses burn. The Confederacy dies in one night, its leaders slain not by Jedi, not by soldiers, but by the very hand that once fought to defend them. The war is over. The Empire is born. And yet, your apprentice is still raw, still bound by fear, still tethered to the ghost of the man he was. You must cut that tether. On Mustafar's black sands, the final blow falls. Obi-Wan Kenobi arrives, the friend who was once his brother. Their duel shakes the planet itself, fire and fury erupting as blade crashes against blade. You do not intervene. You watch from afar through the currents of the Force. Because this is the crucible. This is the forge. They fight with rage, with grief, with memory. But in the end, it is not Anakin's strength that decides his fate. It is his arrogance. A single leap, a single miscalculation, and Obi-Wan's blade cuts him down. His limbs severed, his body consumed by flame. He screams in agony as fire devours what little humanity remained. You arrive when the smoke clears. You find him crawling, burning, broken, his screams echoing across the ash. "Help me!" he begs, his voice ragged, hollow. And you do, but not with mercy. They bring him to Coruscant, a corpse that breathes. His body is ruined, his flesh charred, his lungs collapsing. But you do not see ruin. You see opportunity. Machines surround him, droids rebuilding what fire destroyed. You stand at the edge of the operating chamber as blades cut flesh and metal fuses bone. His screams are endless. Is each one a note in the song of his rebirth. Lord Vader, you call to him over the wail of surgery. Your pain makes you stronger. Your suffering frees you. Embrace it. Let it shape you. When at last the process ends, the creature rises. No longer the golden hero of the Republic. No longer Anakin Skywalker. He is machine and man, fused in torment. Black armor plates his body. Respirators drag breath into his ruined lungs. His helmet lowers, sealing him forever in darkness. When his eyes open, they are no longer blue, they are red. Darth Vader is born. You stand before him, triumphant. Your blade is complete. He breathes once, deep, mechanical, eternal. The sound echoes through the chamber, a promise and a curse. Lord Vader, you say, your voice rich with satisfaction. The galaxy is ours. But then he asks, his voice cold through the mask, where is Padme? Is she safe? Is she all right? You pause. For a moment you consider lying, but lies are chains. Truth, in the right shape, is a hammer. In your anger, you whisper, you killed her. The chamber shakes with his howl. Rage erupts, not against you, but against himself, against fate, against the world. He thrashes, destroying the very machines that birthed him. And you watch, smiling. Because his pain binds him, his grief enslaves him, his rage makes him yours. You walk together onto the balcony of your new palace. The fleet rises above Coruscant, thousands of star destroyers blotting out the sky. The Death Star, your ultimate weapon, begins its construction. And beside you, towering, armored, broken, and reborn, stands Darth Vader. Not the hero the galaxy once worshipped, not the boy who dreamed of freedom, but the enforcer of your will, your blade, your monster, your triumph. Fear is the only language every being understands. and I am fluent. The Republic is gone. Its ashes still smolder, its banners still hang in empty halls, but its soul is dead. In its place rises something new, something you have dreamed of since the first whisper of darkness found you as a boy. The Galactic Empire, and you are its emperor. The Senate chamber, once a circus of endless voices, is silent now. Senators who once screamed over one another now speak only when spoken to. They raise their hands in applause, not in debate. They pass every motion you propose without hesitation, without question. They are no longer politicians. They are ornaments. Long live the Emperor, they cry, and you bow your head in false humility, hiding the smile that twists your mouth. But power is not applause. Power is obedience. Your fleet spread across the stars like a storm of steel. Star destroyers blot out suns. TIE squadrons scream across skies once free. Garrisons rise on every world, their banners black and red, their presence inescapable. The people bow, not out of loyalty, but out of fear. And fear is far stronger than loyalty. Dissent is crushed before it takes breath. Governors rule in your name. Entire cultures bend or break under your gaze. Worlds that whisper rebellion are silenced by fire. Alderaan trembles long before its fate. Mon Cala submits with its ships torn from the seas. Kashyyyk burns, its forests razed, its people enslaved. You watch it all from your throne, a web of systems connected by invisible strings, each one pulled tighter by your hand. Beside you stands Vader. He is not a man. He is your blade made flesh and machine, the shadow of your will cast across the stars. Entire star systems surrender at the sight of him. Entire fleets retreat when his shuttle emerges from hyperspace. He speaks little, but his silence is louder than any threat. And yet, he is broken. You see it in his every breath, mechanical and labored. You hear it in the weight of his footsteps, heavy with chains he cannot see. He obeys you without hesitation, without question, not because of devotion, because of despair. He lost everything, his wife, his freedom, his body, his soul. And in that loss, you have bound him tighter than any chain could. When he kneels, black cloak sweeping the floor, you know there is no Jedi left in him. Only Vader, only yours. The galaxy learns to love its chains. You give them order. You give them peace. You tell them that freedom is chaos, that liberty is weakness, that only in obedience will they be safe. And they believe you. They always believe. Children in schools recite your name as savior. Propaganda floods every channel. Statues rise in your honor, towering over plazas where citizens cheer on command. Some cheer out of hope, most cheer out of fear, but all cheer. This is the galaxy you deserve, you whisper to them through speeches broadcast across 1,000,000 systems. Safe, strong, united, and in their silence, in their submission, you hear the truth. They are yours. But shadows never sleep. Rebellion stirs in the corners of the galaxy. Small cells of fighters, whispers of resistance, sparks that dare to glow against the weight of your darkness. You let them, for now. A spark, after all, only proves how much night surrounds it. The Jedi are gone, scattered like dust in the wind, yet rumors persist, of survivors hiding, of sabers igniting in secret, of children born with the gift you once stole. You hunt them, one by one. Vader leads the purge, dragging them from caves, from alleys, from temples forgotten by time. Their screams echo into silence, their sabers extinguished forever. Still, you know the truth. Hope does not die so easily, and that makes the game sweeter. The Death Star begins to rise, a weapon unlike any the galaxy has ever seen. A sphere of terror, a fortress of annihilation, capable of erasing entire worlds with a single breath of fire. It is not just a weapon, it is your promise. This is how order is maintained, you tell the engineers, the admirals, the governors. This is how rebellion ends, and when it fires for the first time, the galaxy will understand. There is no resistance. There is no freedom. There is no escape. Only you. On your throne you sit cloaked in shadow, the hum of Coruscant's endless city a distant echo beneath your chambers. The galaxy bends under your fist, systems trembling at your command. The Jedi are dead. The Senate is broken. The Republic is dust. You close your eyes and feel the currents of the Force. They are not calm. They are restless, roiling, warning. Somewhere far from your throne, destiny stirs. You sense it like a whisper, faint but undeniable. A thread tugging against your web. A name you have not spoken aloud in years haunts the silence. Skywalker, not the broken one who kneels before you. Another, hidden, growing, waiting. You open your eyes and smile. Let him come. Let him fight. Let him hope. It will make his fall all the more delicious. Empires do not collapse from without. They rot from within, when a single spark dares to defy the night. For years, your rule has been absolute. Systems bend to your will, governors kneel, fleets patrol the stars. The Senate still meets, but its voice is hollow, its chambers filled with applause and fear instead of debate. The Jedi are gone, scattered, broken, hunted into silence by your blade. The galaxy is yours. And yet, even in the deepest night, sparks flicker. It begins as whispers. Smugglers in cantinas who refuse imperial tariffs, miners on Kessel who dream of freedom, senators who speak too softly of liberty when they think no one listens. A ship vanishes here, a garrison is ambushed there. Nothing significant, nothing that could challenge your throne. But the whispers grow, they take shape, they find leaders. Brave, foolish men and women who believe they can defy you. They give it a name. Rebellion. You should crush it. You could crush it, yet you do not. Not yet, because fear is more potent when it is proven. A rebellion to destroy is the perfect excuse for more chains, more fleets, more Death Star. Still, you feel it, a disturbance in the current you command so well. The Force shifts, uneasy, warning of something more than smugglers or senators, something deeper. Vader does not question. He marches wherever you point. His presence alone silences riots. His saber ends uprisings before they grow. He is your enforcer, your monster, your black fist. But even he carries shadows you cannot entirely command. You see it in the way he pauses when children look at him, in the silence that lingers when he hears the name Skywalker. The boy he once was is buried, but not erased. And that scar, though hidden beneath steel and rage, is a crack. You remind him who he serves. You remind him what he lost. You remind him what he is. And he kneels, always kneels. But the Force, he does not kneel. You sense it first as a thread, thin, elusive, slipping through the shadows you weave. It grows stronger each year, until it is undeniable. Somewhere in the outer rim, hidden from your gaze, a child has been raised in light. A name echoes through the currents like a curse returned. Skywalker. You do not speak it aloud. Not yet. But you know. The galaxy is not finished with that bloodline. And that means neither are you. The Death Star nears completion. It is your crown, your promise, your proof. An entire world reduced to fire with a single command. Fear so absolute it will crush hope forever. You look upon its plans with satisfaction, imagining the terror it will bring. This is the instrument of peace, you tell your admirals, your governors, your sycophants. They nod eagerly, not daring to contradict. But inside, you know the truth. It is not peace. It is slavery, and slavery is stronger when the whip is visible. Still, the cracks spread. The rebellion grows bolder, more organized. They raid supply lines, they steal data. They dare to speak openly now. They dare to hope. You laugh when you hear it. Let them. Let them gather. Let them fight. Let them believe. The higher they climb, the further they will fall when you crush them beneath your heel. And yet the Force hums with unease. It does not laugh with you. It whispers of change. It whispers of balance. It whispers of a storm not of your making. One night, alone on your throne, you feel it, a presence across the stars, young, untamed, burning with light that should have died long ago. You close your eyes and breathe it in, tasting the current, following the thread. A boy, a pilot, a name whispered again. Skywalker. Your smile is slow, sharp, hungry. The cracks in your empire are real. But cracks are not weakness. Cracks are traps. And into those cracks you will draw the boy. You will tempt him. You will test him. You will break him. Just as you broke his father. The galaxy still kneels. The Senate still claps. The governors still obey. But you know the truth now. Your reign will not be eternal unless you destroy this spark. And when you do, when Skywalker falls, when the last ember of hope is extinguished, the night will finally be absolute. Every destiny converges at the edge of a blade, and only one hand decides who bleeds. The galaxy trembles. The rebellion has grown beyond whispers and raids. It has become a force, small but dangerous. A spark that refuses to die. And now, the spark dares to strike at your greatest creation, the Death Star. You feel it before the reports arrive. Through the currents of the Force, you sense the ripple of defiance, the gathering of fools who believe themselves heroes. You taste their courage, sharp and fleeting, like the last breath of a dying man. It excites you, it amuses you, and it enrages you. The first Death Star falls, destroyed not by fleets, not by Jedi armies, but by a single shot fired by a boy in a starfighter. Impossible, they say. A miracle, they whisper. But you know better. The Force itself bent to his hand. The name surfaces again, undeniable now. Skywalker. Not the broken husk that kneels at your side. Not Vader. Another. Young. Untamed. A son you never knew existed. And suddenly the galaxy's cracks become fault lines. The boy is more than a pilot. He is the weapon you did not forge. He is light reborn from ashes you thought extinguished. Vader comes to you kneeling, his mechanical breath filling the silence. The Force is strong with him, he admits, his tone laced with something you rarely hear from him, uncertainty. You lean forward, your eyes glinting. He is the son of Skywalker. The words hang heavy in the chamber, a truth Vader cannot deny. You watch him carefully. His silence betrays the storm within, the ghost of Anakin Skywalker clawing at the shell of Darth Vader. But you are not afraid. No, you are delighted, because this is no threat. This is opportunity. The trap is set. The rebellion believes it has a chance. They gather fleets, prepare assaults, cling to hope like drowning men clutching driftwood. Let them. You allow the whispers of your new Death Star to spread, half-built, vulnerable, bait. You leak the plans, knowing they will take them. You open the door, and like fools, they walk through. The boy is among them. Skywalker. He comes willingly, eagerly, like a moth to flame. He believes he can save his father. He believes he can resist you. He believes he has a choice. How sweet his faith tastes. How delicious it will be to shatter. The throne room is your stage. The unfinished Death Star hums around you, a skeletal giant bristling with firepower. From your chair, cloaked in shadow, you watch as Vader brings him forward. Luke Skywalker. He is young, but his eyes burn with the same fire you once saw in his father. He stands defiant, saber at his side, shoulders tense, but unbroken. The Force coils around him, strong, vibrant, alive. You welcome him with a smile. Welcome, young Skywalker. I have been expecting you. He glares, his jaw tight. You'll never turn me. You chuckle, low and soft, your voice dripping with certainty. Oh no, my young Jedi, you will find that it is you who are mistaken about a great many things. The duel begins, not of sabers, but of wills. You whisper poison into his ears, each word a needle. Your friends will die. The rebellion is doomed. The Death Star is operational. He resists. He clings to hope. He believes in his friends, in his cause, in the goodness of the father you shattered. But you feel his anger beneath it all, his fear, his hate. Each word you speak pulls at it, stoking embers into flame. Strike me down, you taunt, leaning forward, offering your very life as bait. Give in to your anger. Fulfill your destiny. His saber ignites. For a heartbeat, you see him falter on the edge, tempted, hungry. Vader blocks him, their blades colliding in a storm of light and fury. Father and son clash as you watch. The perfect theater. The duel rages, Luke driven by desperation, Vader by obedience. Each strike tears at the boy's soul, each clash dragging him closer to the darkness. You laugh, you revel in it. This is your masterpiece. Son against father, light against dark, all threads converging in your hand. And then, the boy triumphs. With a surge of rage, he disarms Vader, his saber cutting through metal, leaving the Dark Lord on his knees. Vader breathes heavy, beaten, broken. Luke stands above him, chest heaving, saber poised for the killing blow. His eyes burn with fury, his hands tremble with hate. He is one strike away from becoming yours. Good, you hiss, your voice sharp with triumph. Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow through you. For a moment he nearly does, but then he stops. He throws his saber aside, his chest rises and falls, his voice steady, resolute. I am a Jedi, he says, like my father before me. Your triumph curdles into rage. The trap has failed. The boy resists. He defies you. He refuses you. So you unleash the storm. Lightning arcs from your fingers, pure hatred made fire. It strikes him, hurling him to the floor, his screams filling the chamber. He writhes, convulsing, his strength crumbling beneath your fury. You will die, you snarl, each bolt striking harder, faster. And with you, the last of the Jedi, he cries out, reaching desperately, not for his saber, not for escape, but for his father. And that is when the crack becomes a chasm. Vader rises. For a moment he is still. He watches you destroy his son, He listens to the screams, he feels the pain, and in that silence, something inside him breaks. Not the chains you forged, but the last remnants of Anakin Skywalker. He looks at you, his master, his tormentor, then he looks at his son, and he chooses. You do not see it until it is too late. He seizes you, his mechanical arms locking around you. Your form. Lightning erupts wild, uncontrolled, as you shriek in fury. No, you will pay for this treachery. But he does not answer. He staggers forward, carrying you toward the abyss. Your lightning consumes him, burning circuits, searing flesh, but he does not stop. With the last of his strength, he casts you into the reactor's core. The darkness that ruled the galaxy screams as you fall, your body unraveling in fire and light. And then, silence. The duel is over. The destinies you wove with such care have betrayed you. The apprentice turned. The son resisted. The master fell. But as your form disintegrates, as the Empire shudders, as the galaxy breathes in hope for the first time in a generation, your shadow does not vanish. You are the Sith, and the Sith do not die. Even gods can fall, but shadows always return. You fall. Lightning consumes you, wild and uncontrolled, wrapping around your body as Vader hurls you into the abyss of the Death Star's core. For the first time in decades, you are not the master. For the first time, your certainty shatters. You are the storm, and yet now the storm devours its maker. The fire tears at your flesh, searing away the mask you wore even as Emperor. Your scream echoes through the throne room, through the reactor, through the very hull of the station. It is a sound the galaxy will never forget, the death cry of a tyrant, the wail of a god undone. For the rebels, it will be a song of hope. For you, it is not an ending. It is a transition, because you are Sith, and the Sith do not die so easily. As your body disintegrates, your mind does not. You feel yourself unravel, your essence torn free from flesh and bone. For a fleeting moment, you are everything. The electricity of the galaxy's veins, the whisper in the stars, the cold hand that brushes across the hearts of billions. And then, you are nothing, a void, floating, endless, timeless. But even here, you cling. Your will is iron, your hunger eternal. Death is not defeat. Death is a veil, and veils can be torn. You drift in the dark, but you are not alone. Whispers reach you, faint, distant, but real. Ancient Sith spirits, fragments of those who came before, call from the shadows. Their voices are promises, temptations, chains. Join us. Become one with the dark. Abandon the world of flesh. But you are not like them. You are not content to be a whisper. You will not dissolve into history. You will not be forgotten. You do not join them. You devour them. Piece by piece, your essence strengthens, feeding on theirs. Their hunger becomes yours, their voices silenced within your will. You are not a ghost. You are a storm gathering at sea. Ulf, again. The galaxy believes you gone. The Death Star explodes in fire, fragments raining upon Endor's forest. The rebels cheer, their banners of victory raised. They sing of freedom, of hope, of destiny fulfilled. Fools. They do not see the truth. They do not feel the fragments of you carried on the currents of the Force, scattered but unbroken, searching for flesh to anchor once more. Time passes. Years blur, but you remain. Hidden in the unknown regions, secret cults whisper your name. The Sith Eternal, disciples who never abandon their faith, preserve what they can of your essence. They build, they wait, they worship. They know what the galaxy refuses to believe, that the Emperor is not gone, that the Emperor cannot be gone. Even in shadow, you still touch the living. In dreams, your voice slithers into the minds of ambitious men, of fearful rulers, of broken souls desperate for power. Some awaken screaming, some awaken kneeling. All are changed. You plant seeds in the darkness, seeds that will sprout long after your fall. Fleets built in secret shipyards, weapons crafted in silence, legions who will never question your command. The galaxy celebrates its freedom, but freedom is a lie. The Sith wait, you wait. And yet, something lingers in the wound of your fall. The Skywalkers. Anakin is gone, redeemed in death, his chains broken in the final act of betrayal. Luke remains, hailed as Savior, the last Jedi. He carries your greatest failure and your greatest threat within him. Hope. But hope is fragile. Hope can be corrupted. You feel him, even from the abyss. His uncertainty, his doubt, his fear. He is not beyond your reach. He never will be. The galaxy calls this your death. They will etch it into their histories, sing songs of your defeat, whisper tales of the day tyranny fell. But history is a fool's comfort, for even now in the silence of eternity you smile.
Ah, you are not finished. You will never be finished, for shadows do not die. They only wait for the light to fail.
The body may fall, the will endures, and will, sharpened into hunger, is immortal. You are gone, yet not gone. The galaxy rejoices in your absence. The rebels dance on Endor. Fireworks blossom across the stars, and for the first time in generations, beings believe themselves free. They call it victory. They call it the dawn of a new age. But dawn is always followed by night, and you are the night. In the void where death should have claimed you, you drift. Torn from flesh, your body annihilated, your voice reduced to a scream swallowed by fire. Yet your spirit clings, tethered by hatred too deep to sever. Hatred of the Jedi, hatred of the Skywalkers, hatred of failure. It anchors you, it sustains you. You remember the fall, the betrayal, the agony of your own lightning consuming you. You remember Vader's hands, the traitor's strength. You remember Luke's defiance, his refusal to bow. And you swear, in that abyss, this is not the end. The currents of the Force carry you to places unseen. The unknown regions, uncharted, chaotic, alive with darkness older than the Republic. There, whispers await you. Acolytes, cultists, the Sith eternal. They never stopped believing. They preserve your name in secret chants. They paint your likeness on cavern walls. They build temples in your honor, far from the eyes of the new Republic. They scour ancient texts, piecing together rituals of rebirth. To them, you are not a man. You are a god, and gods do not die. Your spirit, fractured, weak, finds refuge in their vessels. Clones, empty shells, imperfect, unworthy of your true power. You enter them one by one, but their flesh rebels, their bodies rot, their frames collapse under your strength. Each failure is agony, each collapse a mockery, but you endure, because endurance is all you have ever known, and with each attempt, you grow closer. With each vessel, you refine the ritual. Tighten your grip, learn the limits of flesh. Immortality is not an idea anymore, it is a necessity. One day, you will rise again, not as a shadow, but in form. In the meantime, you reach out. Your voice slithers through the galaxy, subtle, unseen. You whisper into the minds of generals and warlords. You tempt broken Jedi with visions of power. You poison the dreams of senators who long for order amidst chaos. And they listen. They always listen, because the galaxy is weak, and weakness needs a master. The Skywalkers haunt you still. Luke, the son who defied you, the spark you could not extinguish. You sense him across the stars, training new disciples, rebuilding what you destroyed. He believes he is winning. He believes he is restoring balance. You know better. You know he is planting seeds you will one day corrupt, because hope is fragile. Hope can always be twisted, and you will be there, waiting when it shatters. Your empire is broken, yet not gone. Fragments remain, loyal admirals hiding in the void, Moffs clinging to their territories, fleets waiting for command. They fracture, they scatter, but you are patient. You send whispers, promises, orders carried by voices no one dares question. One by one the remnants gather, not under a banner of the Republic, not under the rebels' flag, under yours. The galaxy sleeps, dreaming of freedom, but freedom is fragile, freedom is fleeting, and you, in your waiting, are eternal. The Sith eternal chant in the dark, their voices rising, their temples glowing with crimson fire. Machines stir in secret shipyards, fleets vast enough to blot out stars. Cloning vats bubble, preparing new vessels for your essence. You are not yet whole, but you are close. So close, and when you return, the galaxy will understand what it never truly learned. You cannot kill the dark. The new Republic stumbles, blind and arrogant, repeating the same failures of the old. Their leaders bicker, their fleets scatter, their Jedi cling to fragile hope. But hope does not matter. Hope cannot last, for you are waiting, and your whisper will become a roar. Men die, empires crumble, but a shadow lingers forever. The galaxy believes it is free. The rebel fleets scattered your throne to ashes, the Jedi's last hope defied you, and the Death Star, the symbol of your dominion, burned above Endor. They sang of victory in the forests, of liberty reborn. They whispered that the Sith were no more. But whispers are lies. and lies are your truest legacy. Your reign may have ended in fire, but its echo endures. Every planet scarred by your rule, every monument raised in your honor, every scream silenced beneath your empire's boots, all of it has etched you into the galaxy's memory. You do not need to sit on a throne to be eternal. You already are. Children born after your fall still hear your name in their parents' stories. Some hear it with fear, others with longing, because not all see you as a tyrant. Many see you as savior, the one who brought order, the one who ended chaos, the one who promised peace, even if that peace was carved from bone. And that is your greatest victory. You are remembered not only as monster, but as necessity. The Jedi crawl back into the light, feeble and broken. Luke Skywalker, the boy who defied you, clings to their name as though it were salvation. He trains new disciples. He rebuilds old temples. He believes he can heal what you shattered. But you know the truth. The Jedi will always fall. Not because of you, not because of war, but because of themselves. Their arrogance, their blindness, their refusal to see the galaxy as it is. You merely hastened what was inevitable. Even if Luke succeeds, even if he plants new seeds of light, the soil is poisoned. The shadow of Sidious lingers in every stone, every corridor, every star. He cannot escape it. None of them can. Your empire fractures but does not vanish. Loyalists cling to your memory like worshippers to a god. Warlords carve fiefdoms in your name. Entire fleets drift in the void, waiting for a voice they cannot forget. And in secret, deep in the unknown regions, the Sith Eternal carries your will. Temples burn with crimson fire. Scientists refine the vessels that may house your return. Armies train in silence, waiting for the moment to march beneath your banner once more. You are no longer flesh. You are no longer bound by mortality. You are hunger given form, will given permanence. And hunger does not fade. Even in the galaxy's future, when new wars rise, when new empires form, when new Jedi dream of balance, you will be there. In the whispers of generals who crave order, in the ambition of senators who crave power, in the nightmares of Jedi who fear the dark. Every tyrant who follows you will be measured against your shadow. Every empire born after yours will echo your design. Every Sith who dares claim mastery will kneel, knowingly or not, before the path you carved. You were not simply emperor, you were inevitability. And one day, whether in flesh or in spirit, or in vessels yet unborn, you will rise again. Not because of prophecy, not because of destiny, because you refuse to end, because shadows do not die. The galaxy may chant Skywalker's name, they may praise freedom, they may believe the night is over, but night always returns. And when it does, when hope falters, when freedom collapses into chaos, they will remember the one truth you carved into eternity. The galaxy is not meant to be free, it is meant to be ruled by fear, by power, by you, forever.